Ya voy a hacer nadie que DJs in our control. And they'll be out later on.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Please, you can kill it.
Nobody trusts anybody now.
Come on, you hey. You want to live forever?
I got a really bad feeling about this.
Godzilla will live.
And welcome back to the 106th episode of the Monster Movie Stompdown. Coach got your host Sludge here. Co-host across from me
is the Lorax.
And the Grandmaster from Texas,
Ruben.
So we have got a pretty sweet one because, of course, now this episode we are celebrating the Lorax's birthday. Mark, let them know when your birthday is.
May the 27th.
So is that a Saturday?
All right.
We are releasing,
a Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. So we are releasing this.
Yeah.
And when you see this, it is the Lorax's birthday. So you need to make sure and go tell him happy birthday. But we picked, or let you pick. And so you know what? You give us a little rundown of what movie we are watching real quick before we do the trailer.
Well, we're going to be watching The Night Stalker. Old Kolchak, man, it was good. Come out in 1972. Great movie. Not the normal monster movie that we do, but it's a good one.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. So Darren McGavin was Kolchak in that. Now, Darren McGavin, if you know who he is or if you've seen Kolchak, should be a pretty familiar face to you because he has made appearances in Dead Heat. He was in The X-Files a couple episodes. He was in Millennium. He was in Tales from the Dark Side. He was in the old Monsters show for one episode. The Night Strangler. So anything when it comes to the creepy horror supernatural, he's not a stranger to it when it comes to TV. So, of course, he plays Kolchak. Carl Kolchak in this. And pretty stoked about this one. And because this is what kicked off the series. Like there was a television series ran for a couple seasons that kicked it off. And so it was pretty cool to do this for Lorax's birthday. So let's jump into it. Here's the trailer.
The movie of the week. ABC presents an original motion picture produced especially for the movie of the week. Tonight on the movie of the week.
May I introduce myself? My name is Kolchak of the Daily Chronicle.
Kolchak reports the bizarre, the supernatural, the unexplainable.
You again in another crazy story. This nut thinks he is a vampire.
You know what I call that? Irresponsible yellow journalism.
He has killed 4, maybe 5 women. I saw that so-called super killer wipe up the streets with your so-called police force.
They don't want any help from amateur bloodhounds like you.
I've been a reporter for 22 years.
I've been a police officer for 30.
Well, then why don't you retire?
Each man in the field is issued one of these, and one of these.
Are you suggesting that we pound one of these into Skorzeny's chest?
No, into his heart.
Darren McGavin, the Night Stalker.
All right, so little quick TV trailer for The Night Stalker. Now, this movie came out January 18th, 1972. This was an ABC movie that came out, and of course, it was based off of the Kolchak tapes, the Kolchak letters. What was it? Kolchak something.
Files.
Kolchak files. Like I know there was a couple different things called because when this came out, the novel or the book hadn't even been released yet, and so the author of the Kolchak papers, files, whatever, Jeff Rice hadn't even released it yet.
Might have been papers. Yeah, it might have been papers.
Was it papers?
Might have been papers. Now that I think
okay,
about
the
it.
Kolchak papers. I think we're going to go with Kolchak papers.
Yeah.
Kolchak papers.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That works.
So Ruben's decided Kolchak papers is what it is. That's what we're going for.
Yeah.
So Jeff Rice wrote that, but since it hadn't been published yet, Richard Matheson is who wrote the made-for-TV movie. and then they released it in January of 1972 and did extremely well. This movie actually holds a pretty, for coming out in 1972, it's still got a critic score of 88% on Rotten Tomato, even though Rotten Tomato doesn't really matter, and like a 74, 75 audience score, which is weird because nowadays normally you see the audience score higher than the critics because they suck, but I didn't say that. I did say that. But this one's a pretty cool, pretty sweet movie. So pretty much it takes place in Las Vegas. And you've got Carl Kolchak, who is a reporter who starts reporting on a case of women that start getting killed and drained of blood in Las Vegas. And, of course, they don't want to, go and say, oh, it's a vampire because they're not real. But as he continues to research and do his thing as a reporter, comes to find out that this person killing these women actually is a real vampire. And he has to go and work with the city and the police trying to get this vampire caught, and works a plot up with them. Finally, they end up agreeing that it is a vampire, and they end up, trying to find out where he lives. And Kolchak goes in. Of course, Kolchak is Kolchak, and he ends up killing the vampire, shoving a nice wooden stake through its heart. And then right as it's all over, the city turns on him, and they tell him he either needs to leave Los Angeles immediately, not say a word about a real-life vampire, or they're going to charge him for first-degree murder of this guy. So really cool little twist at the end of this movie. That's pretty much it. If you know Kolchak, man, that's what the series was. Is he reported on more supernatural horror-type things that people wouldn't believe. Kind of like I don't want to say an X-Files before X-Files, but kind of like an X-Files before X-Files.
Yeah, definitely.
I could see where Chris Carter and them definitely pulled, some inspiration from Kolchak. Before, I don't want to start this one. Mark, it's your birthday. You kick us off. You're the one who got me kicked into or started into Kolchak as a kid. Because last time I'd seen this was, I don't know, 8, 9, something like that. I was young. I remember being little, barely remember much of it until I watched it again, but I'll wait to give my review of it till after you guys go. I'll let the older guys handle this one first, since this is your generation. Okay. You old ones.
Yeah.
Go for it, Lorax.
He's not wrong. Cold.
He's not wrong.
There. Yeah, not wrong. That's for sure. And by the way, I'll turn 29 on the 7th.
Oh, 29. Yeah.
Okay.
So
you guys
not only does he speak for the trees, but he lies heavily as well.
This movie, man, is just. I actually saw the series first before I saw the movie, and was just kind of edge of your seat type of show. You don't know what's coming on from week to week. For me, it was Friday nights, ABC. Just absolutely love it. Suspenseful, not a bunch of monster type, deals that we normally deal with. But the acting I thought was just great in it. There were some things, just like in the movie, it's kind of corny. How does this news reporter always get to the scene before the police do?
Right. Yeah. And, he's always there, but he always has an answer. How'd you know? Oh, the coroner told me, or this guy told me, or this. He always made it ahead though.
And the FBI is eager to feed him information, and a doctor's feeding him information. But to me, it's just great. Everything about, especially in 1972, you don't have all these, computer graphics and all that going on. And so, they played on their acting abilities. And like I say, it's a great job. The whole cast of the movie, I thought, did a great job. And I give it a thumbs up.
I thought it was, well, yeah, there's a ton again. I'm going to give it to the old guys. I'm going to hold mine because, it's been a while since I've seen it, and I was very excited to watch it. Ruben, what about you when it comes to the Night Stalker?
Well, the minute I turned it, brought it up, the minute I put the tape in, we'll go back to that. So, all these memories of me being a kid and watching this for the first time, and I don't remember. I remember seeing this. Like Mark, I remember seeing the series before the movie, but I remember the movie. I do remember it. I just, for some reason, thought it was after the series, so I'm thinking that I saw the series first. Of course, I was a wee lad. I was
a wee lad.
A wee lad,
yeah. A wee lad.
Yeah. So I was like 7 years old, at the time.
Well, if we have to know, I was 11. I was 11. If we have to know, I was 11.
You were 11? Yeah, I was 72. I was 7 years old.
I wasn't even a thought at this point, but
not even. Nothing. So, and not only that, but the story was great. The acting was great. Seeing all these actors that would either, go on, like so many familiar faces, like you got Frank Burns from MASH. He's the doctor.
Yep.
On that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then
no, he was the coroner.
And then his girl.
Yeah.
He was the coroner. Yeah, he was the coroner.
The coroner.
Yeah.
And I saw him like, man, and then I saw, and the sheriff, I've seen him on, I don't know if you guys remember shows like this, but BJ and the Bear.
Oh,
And I think there was another show called Moving On.
Yeah.
He was a regular on those shows, and I'm like, man, I recognize his girlfriend from the Poseidon Adventure. She was in the Poseidon Adventure.
That's where she's from. Man, I was watching that the whole time. I'm going, man, I have seen this broad somewhere. The Poseidon Adventure. I'm glad you knew that. Yes, okay.
That's it. It was a Poseidon Adventure. But, man, it was so great. And, the vampire
Barry
was
Atwater's
perfect.
Barry Atwater's in this. He's a politician.
Yeah. Or the city mayor or whatever he is.
Yes. But he goes on to be a politician. A governor or a politician. Yeah, I mean,
something
real
like
life.
that.
Yeah.
In real life. Okay,
Yeah.
That I didn't know. I started watching it, and it's just like almost every character. I'm like, man, I've seen them in something. There was even one that I used to watch, Emergency and Adam 12. And he came out on it. I'm like, man, I recognized him from that. I mean, it was all
definitely.
It was just all these people, and I'm like, I know them from all these shows. It seems like I guess they had a pool of actors that they went to, and it was just great. I thought the story was great. The tension was there, even for a made-for-TV movie. The tension was there. Because I remember as a kid, it was even more. Now, of course, I'm an adult. I'm like, it's kind of, I didn't even find it like funny now watching it as an adult. I still enjoyed it, and not because it was horribly acted, not because the graphics weren't. We didn't have the special. It was all great. It was all great. I liked, although it was funny to see Kolchak with his white shoes on and no shirt.
Yeah.
Sitting there, he puts his feet up and he's got those white shoes on. I go, oh man, that style from the early 70s is just something else. But yeah, I really enjoyed every minute of it. I gave it a high stomp rating because some of it is nostalgia, and some of it is because it was just, it was just it was just made perfectly for TV, a TV movie that was made just about perfect. I don't really have too many complaints about it. Doesn't seem like they took any shortcuts in making this movie at all. Sometimes with TV movies they'll take shortcuts and they become obvious as they get older. But this one, like I said, the cars are dated and it's in the 70s. I mean, and it's Las Vegas looks totally different. So, but still, even that was interesting. Like, when he's driving down the strip or whatever, just to see all those neon signs and who was performing at the time. Was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool just to catch those
I saw
glimpses of all
Johnny
that.
Carson was on one of the reader boards.
He was. Yeah,
Johnny Carson was on there. Yeah, exactly. With Doc Silverson or whatever his name is. Yeah. So I'm watching a movie and I'm also watching the background, so that makes the movie even more interesting, Although I will say this is, I guess what I'll say is this a stuntman oriented movie. Is all the great stuff is done by stuntmen. When you see Kolchak driving down that dirt, I don't know what it is, a field or something, you could catch a glimpse of the stuntman. But other than that, man, I just thought it was great, and all the fight scenes with the vampire. I mean, there is just great, and they were all stuntmen and all that, but they did a great job. I don't have any complaints about this movie whatsoever.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I really got to interrupt there for a second. So obviously you guys watching, we do the video call with Ruben, and a lot of the times, unless there's a major error, I will use our video feed that we switched between, but Ruben always sends me his because I get his audio off his video because it's better quality and put it into the show, and then I have his videos backup if we need it. And so if you're watching this, you may have just seen the wife shared a video pop up on the screen over Ruben's head. So that was my wife sharing something on Facebook. Usually I would edit that out, but that was just too funny for me to realize. I'm like, I might just leave that. So you're all like, who's the wife? What is going on? That's what's happening. She's interrupting the episode. So my bad, Ruben. I'm sorry. I saw that. It's just like, wow. But so anything else you like about it?
Anyway, that's it. No, that's it. There was nothing I did not like about this movie. It's great. And this movie, and I will say, you named all these movies in, but he's the old man in the Christmas Story, Kolchak.
Yep.
So
Aaron McGavin.
That's how RJ knows him. That's how a lot of the kids of today will know him as the old man in Christmas Story. They didn't see him, like him showing up on X-Files. That's like an Easter egg.
Yeah,
because,
like the diehard fans are like, dude, look at it's Kolchak, that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's like an Easter egg, him showing up in all these shows because, he's the OG. He
is, man. He really is.
Yeah, he's the OG. He's the OG of these type of X-File type, mysteries and, and it's funny. Back in those days, man, you had Night Gallery and you had Thriller and you had Twilight Zone. That was even older than that. So, and I really wish that would have stuck around longer than it did, because it was really great. But, it's still fun to watch, and I had a lot of fun watching it. That's it. That's all I got.
Well, I have to go. I mean, he is the OG, like Kolchak is, because, you had Twilight Zone before, and Twilight Zone was a great show. I mean, there's no arguing how good of a show Twilight Zone is and what it did for the fans.
Yeah.
But, I feel like Kolchak was the first, cult status character, because he came before Tales from the Dark Side, he came before Tales from the Crypt, came before X-Files, came before Monsters, came before Millennium, came before all these other shows that really kind of, prior to him was the Twilight Zone, and in Twilight Zone you had a new episode, a different story, but you had different characters every week.
Right.
Kolchak was really the first one that was one character in a Monster of the Week type scenario, like we see with X-Files or anything, but he was the one that kind of set the ground for these shows coming after him, I feel like.
Well, and when you said Night Gallery,
I agree.
right? Night Gallery was one of them, and you were watching these, and you're right, different actors, different characters every week, different shows every week, and then all of a sudden, here comes the Night Stalker with the same main character every week. Just kind of stepped it up a level to where you couldn't wait till the next week when
you want to know what happened to him.
What was fantastic. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved this movie. I it's great. I love it being the beginning, the kickoff for the series, and I don't know, man. I feel like I remember scenes of this because it's been a while. It's been probably 30 years since I've watched the movie, but I've got more memory of this than the show. So I don't know if you kicked me off with the movie before the show, if it was like one of those nights where it's like, you're on the couch watching Night Stalker. I'm like, hey, I'm going to pipe in and join. But it's phenomenally great. It's such a good movie, especially for being made for TV. And I love Kolchak because Kolchak's like, I don't know. It's like if he wants it, he gets it. You know what I mean? He's like, he's got all these contacts, and they're going to do whatever for him, so he can get his feet dirty and his hands and all kinds of things. Even the phone operator lady, he brings her that box of chocolates, and she's all mad at him for it, but she's going to do it anyways, and. It's really, really good, man. Of course, Darren McGavin's a great actor. Really, really good actor. So, he was a strong lead to have for this show and for this character. And I think he does phenomenal for it. Special effects are great for, there's not a lot of special effects required in this movie, made for TV. No, it's a vampire hunting in Vegas, there's very minimal blood in it. But there's so many cool scenes, even with the vampire. He's very classic vampire looking. Like, I think of like Peter Cushing and those cats. Right. The Hammer film design, that they did for this. So it's really cool, really classic, very 70s.
Kind of a Dark Shadows.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go.
Yeah, Dark Shadows.
He did have that, even the facial features and the haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Dark Shadows, right on the money. Yeah.
Yep. So definitely, the Dark Shadows vibe. And it's really, really cool, man. And they handled a lot of the scenes really awesome. And like one of my favorite scenes, honestly, is just like where they find the one girl, is it the second girl on the sand and like the water trough way or whatever, and they notice there's no footprints between her and like where they're at because it's all sand, And then, Kolchak looks back and he's like, did he throw her? And that's when the folks were like, this is one strong dude. It's like, holy crap, you realize he did. He threw her like 20 yards or whatever. And it kind of gave a depth of strength and power to the vampire. But every time you see him, when he's in the hospital stealing the blood the second time, and they're chasing him, and Kolchak, of course, cracks me up because he's not doing anything. Like, he lets the cops do their thing, and he's just standing back taking pictures, like reporting on it. Like, I ain't getting involved in this crap. And they're chasing him out of the hospital, and they're shooting at the vampire, and it ain't working. Cars are, hitting each other and all this stuff. And even when you go to, the cops chasing him again later through somebody's backyard and into a pool, and the cops are fighting him. Kolchak's just like, nah, I'm going to snap my picture, dude. Like, y'all got this. But I mean, there were such really cool scenes, and there was that one moment, especially at the pool, when like he falls after they shoot him, but he gets up and he turns and he looks right at, like, he's not even looking at the cops. He's looking straight at Kolchak, and those red eyes, the blood veins, almost like, and Kolchak's just looking at him, and that's that moment he goes, like, he doesn't say anything, but he realizes this is a real vampire. Like, it was great, man. I love this movie. Super, super good. I think one of the things I like about it the most is the narration. I love that Kolchak narrates his own story. Like, that was really, really cool.
Yeah, great too.
Because you don't get that a whole lot. So, I mean, I love this thing, man. I think it's super, super cool. I don't know, man. It's just got a cool feel to it. I love it. I mean, he's a reporter, but he almost seems like a detective at the same time. So it's a great character.
Yeah, it's almost like he's the one running the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he really is, because they're not figuring it out, and he's having to figure it out for him. Be like, look, y'all a bunch of idiots. It was at one point he's like, look, when you're ready to tell me I'm right and you're wrong or whatever, he just knows. And, he's got a cool swagger about him, and his hat, man. Like, Kolchak wouldn't be Kolchak without the hat.
Oh, you gotta have it.
Which is super, super cool. So, I mean, I love it. I have no complaints about this movie whatsoever. Even dating it back to 1972, I couldn't get my eyes off the screen the entire time. Like, it's Kolchak. It's freaking Kolchak. So let's find out, man. It's Stompdown rating time. All right, so this was pretty unanimous, man. All three of us gave this movie a solid 4 out of 5 stomps. And I think that's just, I don't know how it would have gotten 5 with the way we compare things, but like, for a made-for-TV film, this is definitely one of the best. Yeah. Ruben had hinted before the show talking about Salem's Lot. So, like, if Kolchak got a 4, Salem's Lot would be like that made-for-TV movie that gets a 4.5 or a 5. You know what I mean? Like, that would be the only reason why, because, I mean, it's a strong 4, I feel like. I mean, would you guys agree to that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And I try to be, because Mark pointed out that I penalize movies because I know what's coming, but it was very, if I still see Salem's Lot, and I still see that as the gold standard for made for TV vampire movies. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, Salem's Lot is I would agree, the made for TV standard. Like,
if you're 100%. Talking about that made for TV, because
I don't know, I might have
Salem's Lot. You got something. What you got?
Well, I might have to challenge it. Like, but it's kind of difficult though, because Salem's Lot, I'm kind of going off key here a little bit, because I just thought about this because we're thinking of going forwards. It's a made for TV movie, but it was more or less a what do they call it, limited series, because it was 2 parts. Miniseries.
It was a miniseries.
So it's kind of hard to compare it, because what I'm about to compare it to was 3 seasons. They had to fit all in, but the strain.
Oh,
I think when it comes to vampires, I don't know, Ruben, have you seen The Strain?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's a good one to watch.
Like, The Strain.
Maybe I need to see The Strain,
dude. Okay. So The Strain is a series of books written by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. And it's about a virus that comes over on a plane, which ends up being vampires. And the main character works for the CDC, and is trying. This plane it just shows up at the airport, and it's just dark. No one's coming on, no one's coming off. They get on there, everybody's dead, and they're like, "What's going on?" And what it is it's these vampires coming over to the U.S. and they've infiltrated the U.S. already, and they want to take over New York and global, take over the world eventually, but they have to do it from New York. But like there's a master vampire, then he's got these lieutenants, whatever. But like the vampire, it's like a parasite almost. It's crazy good how they handle it. So like they'll bite somebody and then they kind of get this parasite in them and become dumb vampires, almost 28 days later zombie type vampires. But he has lieutenants that he will give specific types of this parasite to so that they have their mental capabilities and extra powers more like him. It's done extremely well. Abraham, I can't remember his last name, the Jewish guy who was in the World War II, and that's how he found out about these vampires, because with the vampire that's second in charge, he built furniture for at one of these concentration camps, remember?
Yep.
And it's Abraham something there. But anyways, I don't know, man, like
that's a great series.
Yeah, that's a bar that you have to check it out. That's pretty high.
You giving the synopsis, I'm like, man, how did I miss that?
Oh, dude, it is. It was an
really
FX
good.
series show and top of the line, dude. I mean, yeah, you need to check it out.
In fact, I just saw it. It may be on Hulu right now.
Really?
Yeah, if you got Hulu,
FX is probably on Hulu.
Worth checking out because
that Hulu is FX. I mean, Fox owns Hulu.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that's what it's on.
Yeah. So definitely check it out, Ruben. So I mean, but anyways, back to it. So we're saying 4 because to us there's a higher standard for some things on made for TV, but it's solid 4, man. Like
great.
I don't think any of us.
I would definitely. It's one that, like, if you have grandkids or something, or older grandkids, it's not scary enough to scare the kids, but I think they would still enjoy it. I really do,
I mean,
especially with the fight scenes and all that. I think kids would really enjoy this movie.
And even for made for TV films in general of this genre, like I would rank this high. Like even Gargoyles, I love freaking Gargoyles. I love Gargoyles, but I would probably put this movie just a tad over because of it's freaking Kolchak. Like I don't know how else to say it.
And I think that what it ends up doing is you watch the movie that sets up the series that you can continue on, and which makes it fantastic and really, really good.
Yeah.
Plus, for collectors, man, that book, the original, the Kolchak Papers, which that's what it's called. Kolchak Papers. Man, I tell you what, $300-$400, $600.
Wow.
I was like, because I started researching, and I'm like, man, there's not much for collectors out there. So I started kind of researching it for the collector, part of this, and there's not much out there, but those books are out there, and there's even comics out there.
I knew there was Kolchak comics. I knew there was the comics were out there.
Yeah,
which
so
is pretty cool.
It's just a special place in my childhood heart for Kolchak. So I'm gonna start looking into getting some of that stuff into my collection.
I have to completely agree. So okay, so there you go. Solid freaking 4 from all of us. If you have not seen The Night Stalker, go check this movie out. It is one of the best made-for-TV films, especially in the genre of stuff that we watch. And Darren McGavin's awesome. Like, he's just so good in this. So, but before we go on, because we're going to talk about Mark here, the Lorax, in just a minute. Ruben.
What are we talking about me for?
Because this is your birthday episode.
Oh my gosh!
So we got to.
Yeah,
Ruben, I got to give you a hard time here, man. Before we leave off of Kolchak, because we were talking about the sheriff.
Oh man, what did I do now?
About the sheriff in this is Claude Atkins.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Of course, for those Claude Atkins, that's Rio Bravo. Then you've got the Devil's Brigade, a lot of Western stuff back in the day. And man, I swear, I think him and Boone. What's his name? Richard Boone from The Last Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Swear those two could be brothers. I really swear those two could be brothers. Because I don't know how many times he's talking to Kolchak or going off, and I'm like, I could see Richard Boone or anything, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, so, like, Claude Atkins had a pretty major role in a movie that I thought for sure Ruben was going to bring up. And he didn't bring it up. And I'm kind of questioning Ruben's fandom when it comes to a specific movie series that he talks about knowing a lot about, and he's a big fan of. No. And look at it. Okay, let's get a camera on him. He's
working hard.
He is.
Looking at. I didn't. Yeah, let's see. There's BJ and the Bear. Moving on.
Nope.
Of course, I didn't hit the arrow button. Yeah.
No, keep going. He's one of the only good characters in a specific movie in the series. I'll give you a hint. It's the last film of this series and he is like one of the only two good characters in the movie, I think, actually, because I'm not a big fan of this movie. I think it's the worst of the series.
Okay, well, I'm going to 94, and I'll go work my way down.
Oh, you're going to go way back further than that.
Okay.
I'll give you another hint.
It's
Cornelius.
I mean, it could Tarantula. I mean, was he in Tarantula?
Nope. I'll give you a hint. Cornelius is another character in this film. These films.
He's in Planet of the Apes?
He is in Battle for the Planet of the Apes. He's Aldo. He's the leader of the gorillas.
Really? See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's Aldo in that.
Dang right.
Yeah, dude.
Holy smokes!
Like I thought for sure. Like I was like, Ruben's going to bring up Planet of the Apes somehow. Like I figured you would bring him up, and I was like,
yeah, I would, because I am a big fan of. And did I miss that? I think I'm going to have to go take a couple of tabs off of my Planet of the Apes fandom point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to this for him not knowing he was in there.
Man.
So, which of course, Battle of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know about you, Ruben. I mean, to me, that's the bottom of the barrel. I mean, it's still good, but it was the least favorite. But Aldo's definitely one of the cool characters in that one.
It's not coming up. It's not coming up on his.
It's not.
Let's see, Battle would be. It's not coming up.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna have to do like he does to. I believe you though, because he does look like an Aldo to me.
He does. He really.
There it is. There he is. Yeah, there he is. 1973.
Yeah,
Battle
dude.
of the Planet of the Apes. Aldo.
He is Aldo for sure.
Wow,
man. And you're right. For me not to bring it up, that's a shame, because I'm a Potter fan. Big Potter fan.
Yeah, dude. So, anyways, I had to bring it up because I'm like, I cannot believe Ruben didn't bring that up. So, So if you go watch Battle for the Planet of the Apes, Aldo, the leader of the gorillas in it, like, because you got the other chimps and stuff. He's the leader of the gorillas. One of the few good characters in it.
There you go.
Which was pretty cool. So, all right, man. So, Mark, the Lorax, the speaker of the trees, is turning. I don't want to do the math. Let me guess, 62.
Oh, right on.
60. I got 62. 62. All right. So, thought about, giving him a hard time and trying to make some jokes or things like that. Do something to give him a hard time for his birthday. But you know what? I was like, no, let's do this. He's the oldest of the crew. He is essentially why we're doing the show in the first place anyways. Because, got off the road touring. I'm like, I need to do something. Had the podcast. And I was like, Mark, we talked about, one for monster movies. Just like, yeah, totally down. And a lot of people talk to me and stuff. They love the show. I mean, we got love from all you guys, but it's kind of without question from the people I hear, the Lorax is the star of the show. He's the one that's talked about the most, even, which is whatever. We love you too, but it's okay. So anyways, it's your birthday, man, and 62 years.
Yeah.
Don't give away too much, because we do have something. Of course, we got a lot on our plates right now, especially me personally with life, but we have something big coming down the road. And so I don't want you to give too much, because what's coming down the road, you'll be giving quite a bit in. But give us an insight on how this monster journey started for the Lorax.
Wow. Man, you just kind of threw me on the spot there, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I had to. It's my job.
Well, I think how this all started is I've always been a night owl. I stay up late every single night.
I can attest to that. I'm the same way.
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, if not later. And
I can attest to that.
Yeah, when Ruben's Ruben knows just from how long he's noticed. Yeah,
even when I was young. I mean, back in the mid '60s and the later '60s, you go to bed at night. We'd leave the screen door. That's all you'd have closed. The main door to the house is stand wide open. And Mom and Dad, they never made me go to bed. Well, me and TV, I would sit there and watch it. And, of course, the late night movies, here come the monster movies. And it would scare me at first. I had a babysitter over that showed us The Blob, which scared me to death. I thought, good
Steve
Lord.
McQueen's The Blob.
Oh, yeah, Steve McQueen's, yeah.
Because this was pre-'80s, pre-my Blob.
Oh, yeah.
This was Mark's Blob.
Definitely. And, but I got into it and really started loving it. And then I got into a Saturday matinee Godzilla movie. And then it was on. then it was on. It was like, oh, I got to have more of this. This is really good right here. And I've just been, now that I got, the internet and everything, you just check, constantly checking the internet, what monster movies are coming out, what movies are coming out, how things are going. And I've never turned back. I've never stopped. Then you come along and I'm like, hey, dude, check this out. And you're like, oh my gosh, I love this stuff. And then I think it's been a ongoing thing ever since you got old enough to show you the movies.
It has been. I mean, because I remember as a kid, really, well, the first memory I have, and I'm sure you showed me monster movies before, I remember the first, Godzilla movie. I mean, it was 85, and then right after it was 54. But, the first earliest memory I have of a monster on film would have been Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. And, I'm telling you, people don't parent right today like you guys used to back then, because it's like, what do you show your kid first? Oh, I showed him Bluey or whatever. It's like, not my dad. This is Freddy Krueger. Let me introduce you to Robert Englund. This is what you need to know.
And one of the best horror movies ever.
And enjoy your sleep tonight.
That is, right. If you want to scare somebody, you scare them with that.
Well, I mean, it was quick, man. At a young age, dude, we were hitting the video stores, man, and I have memories of all kinds of little mom-pop video stores in Indiana and in Florida and Tennessee, and we were hitting, at a young age, man, Freddy Krueger, real quick into Jason Voorhees, but, the monsters like Pumpkinhead. I remember that one as a kid. I loved that movie, and the Critters movies and Gremlins and, of course, Godzilla and all that stuff. And it's just kind of continued. I mean, because, here we are 3 generations later in our family from you. A couple years ago, we're in theaters for Shin Godzilla for its premiere in America, and it's you and me and Gavin and Jada. You know what I mean? So you, your son, and your grandkids all watching a monster movie that you started, this journey a long, long time ago. And now we've got the fans listen to this. All thanks to really kind of you starting this, So
it's been a fun ride. I love it, and we just got to have to keep it going. We're doing all this. We've added Ruben in, and now and his son, and we just got everything going, and it's a part of everyday life.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's just what we do, and I don't go through a day and my phone's not going off, and somebody's going somewhere talking about something. That's happening with monster movies and the monster movie Stompdown.
We're constantly doing. We get notifications from everybody from Kurt or Josh up in Connecticut or Patrick. Somebody's always saying something or talking somewhere with us, and then of course we've always got our stuff going. In our group chat. We're talking today. My wife got me that awesome Trendmasters action play set. From when I was a kid. But it was missing the Godzilla figure. Dude, I hunted it down. I got it for a good deal. And I found the Godzilla figure. It arrived today, So in our chats, I'm like, dudes, check it out. I'm sending them pictures. And Ruben will get figures or things like that and send us pictures. And Mark, he's constantly showing off his RoboCop collection to us and will not stop doing that. So we were talking about he was showing off his NECA figure he just found on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. But it's constant, man. And it's cool. And it's a little niche. You've got tons of podcasts out there that do monster movies, but it's more of a horror show. We've really solidified down to just the monsters because that's just such a big part of our life, and this doesn't stop, man. Constantly finding new ones. Who was it? Was it it was Ruben? Ruben, you messaged me the other day, or Carnifex, or what was the other movie? Or 65, right?
65.
65. Which tell me that was not an awesome movie.
I was like, which one do I watch? I watched 65. That's what you recommended.
Did you like it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a lot different than what the trailer had. How the trailer portrayed it. Because I remember seeing the trailer for it. I'm like, man, that looks really cool. And I watched it, and it was really good because it's a different perspective. I mean, this guy lands on Earth 65 million years ago. And I don't know. I still didn't understand if they were from the future and he went through the Planet of the Apes. Here I'm bringing up Planet of the Apes again. We went through a time. Or
they were just already advanced. I'm thinking they were just already advanced.
Or they're already so advanced and they just landed on our primitive planet. That's my theory. My theory is they just landed.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Which
Right.
spoiler alert, by the way. Sorry, guys. You
Yeah.
know, but the point
Sorry.
the point of it was that that we, all the time we're constantly talking, and because monster movies are such a big part of our life. Which 65 is great. We'll probably do an episode soon. Y'all need to check it out. I swear, 65 is like it is a quasi remake of Planet of the Dinosaurs. You all remember that one, Planet of the Dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
That's straight up what 65
Yeah, because I don't
is. It's
remember
so good.
65 because I haven't seen it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
thanks for the.
My bad.
ruining
Totally,
that.
totally.
Yeah, I
we
appreciate
spoiled
it, guys.
that for the Lorax.
Well,
You
no,
know,
I didn't give. I mean, I just told you that's the beginning of the movie, and then they land on Earth, and then that's just my theory, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happens.
Yeah, a whole lot more happens. Yeah. I'm
I like how you went with
He
that.
doesn't land, and then the end.
There we go. You know,
I didn't even mention anything about if he's by himself or nothing like that.
Yeah. There's plenty to see for that one. So, but anyways, I mean, so we keep going, man, and we love it, man, and I just think it's super cool because. It all started with the Lorax, dude, and so thanks for that, and a major happy birthday to you. 62 years of life, and many, many more. Because I mean, for those who don't know, when it comes to the Lorax has had on 3 or 4 heart attacks.
I've had 3.
Three, and not pacemaker. What is it called? What's the thing called?
I got the old charger.
Defibrillator. Yeah. So and this man still works. You're at what 50 some hours this week?
Yeah. I was almost 60.
60 hours.
You can retire here. You can retire here in about 6 months.
I don't want to do that.
2.5.
I don't want to do that.
No?
I'm going to keep it going.
Yeah, he would lose his freaking mind. That's what my wife's always like.
And I'm counting the days. Like, man, how long before I can retire?
Dude, it's a Reagan blood thing, I think, dude. Like, I don't see you ever retiring. And my wife's like, she's the same way. She's like, well, what are we going to do when we retire? I'm like, I'm going to work. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, even if I don't have to, I'm going to have to work. Like,
even on my days off, I'm kind of bored sometimes because it's like, okay, I don't know what to do today. I'll just watch TV. And so I'll work until they throw me in the dumpster and go on and find somebody else. So that kind of deal.
Yeah. But so the Lorax, man, he kicks it, dude. He kicks it for you all, kicks for everybody. I mean, 3 heart attacks in, and defibrillator, and he's still rocking it strong. I mean, it's like John Wayne. You know what I mean? Like you're the John Wayne of monster movies.
Yeah, I don't have that walk down though.
No, man, nobody's got that walk. It's like
walk,
death comes looking at on John. Who was it? It was that did that joke about John Wayne. Was it Pryor that was joking about John Wayne?
I don't
kicking death's butt. I think it was Pryor talking about it. It's like, anyway, I can't say that joke on here, but I'm pretty sure it's Pryor.
Yeah.
But Lorax is the same way, man. I think it's funny. A little story about him from your second. What's the one you had surgery on one of them?
I had open heart on the second one.
Second one. So he's in there. They do it, and the first ones to go into the room when they get him back out was me and his best friend Michael Jeebs. We both walk back in together. And so they just bring him out, and he's already awake or coming to out of this, and they've cut him open and sealed him back up. And he just looks over at us. It looks right back at the doctors, and he's like, just take me back. Just take me back. And it's like, yeah, nice to see you too, And, I'm with you for your third one. And we have to go up to the hospital here. And I get him in the hospital. You're trying to be a good son, taking him back there. And he starts telling the doctors and nurses, like, I don't know who this guy is, but he walked in here. You might want to get him out. Just like, dude. Like,
call security. Call security.
That's the way he handles those situations. So he's going to be rocking hard for quite a long time, man. But he's the local hero for the monster movie Stompdown. He is your all's favorite. And I just want to make sure give a little bit of a background for the Lorax for his birthday. So y'all make sure to tell him happy birthday after you listen to this. And, of course, you'll see it on Facebook. We'll put up there, hey, it's Lorax's birthday, blah, blah, blah. Wish him happy birthday, that type of deal.
Yeah,
so
I appreciate it. Thanks.
But, all right. Well, man.
I think a lot of people enjoy him because he's got great stories. That's why. He's got some great stories to tell. Like that story he just told about, the screen door and all those little details. Top-notch story. Top-notch story.
I'm one of those
because he takes me with him. He takes me with him.
I'm one of those guys.
I remember those days
growing up. before microwave ovens when we actually had to cook food.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, that's a legend, for you youngins.
I'm like, man, he took me back. And he was talking about his house, but I remember the screen door and the door open till late at night. And, just a little light on and the little black and white TV there. And I'm just sitting there. Because you had to have your windows open and the screen door because it was down here. It's hot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it was hot up there too. You had to. That was air conditioning.
For whatever reason, still to this day, I don't understand it. But people in Indiana don't know what an AC is. Like, I don't know why. Like, even I go up there. Like, I'm up there pretty regularly traveling to my aunt and uncles, or go to my cousin's house, or my other aunt and uncles, or my other cousins, or whoever. Nobody's got an AC. Like, it's 2023. Nobody has ACs up there. Like, so they don't use them, so they had to have their windows open back then, even in Indiana, which is crazy.
Back then, we couldn't afford no AC. I mean, our first AC didn't come till my mom had surgery. My brother went out and bought one for her.
Yeah, my AC came.
And we put it in one. It was a room air conditioner. It went in one room, and guess where everybody was? In the middle of we were all in that room.
We had a box fan. We had a box fan. That was about it. Then the ceiling fan came, and we were good.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we had the box fan, but the room that I slept in had a peach tree right outside the window. So,
wow.
But I'd have the window open. That was it. So there was a peach tree there, so the possums would come get the peaches. Me as a kid, I'd be freaking out every time. Man, I didn't like that at all. So I remember close that window, or
I remember going from, and not all houses, but some houses. I think as well as I get is I remember going from rotary to touch tone phones. Like, I remember still having rotaries in some of the houses,
man.
And then switching to touch tone. Already had a microwave, already had the AC, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's back in the good old days and the better days.
But probably Mark remembers. I remember you had to pay extra for touchtone. It was $2 more a month.
Oh yeah.
Touchtone.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It wasn't free.
And most kids today be like, what's touch-tone phone?
What about the back in the day party lines, man? You had to wait to talk on the phone because your neighbor across the street was talking, so you had to wait till they got done. It's like, will you hurry up?
That's when people used to communicate face to face. Screw it, I ain't calling you. I'm just coming over, and we'll just talk that way. So kids nowadays are like, "What's touch tone? What's this?" They don't know how to work that stuff. So back in the good old days. But all right, man. Thank you all again so much for sticking with us for another episode and Mark's birthday and celebrating him with the Night Stalker. Now, of course, the next episode next month we are jumping into the next Gamera film, which we hinted at previously, is the creme de la creme of the Showa Gamera films, and introduces his Ghidorah, so to speak, with Gamera versus Gyaos. And then the next film next month is actually a Ruben pick. Ruben's not picked one in a minute, and Ruben is taking us back to 1978 to a Roger Corman film known as Piranha, which was one of the many Nature Run Amic films, but I think one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Like, I love plenty of. They had it's had sequels and then had remake after remake. But none of them just captured the Roger Corman.
I think it even had a 3D version, didn't it?
The newer ones. The newer ones that came out.
I remember
the second remake run, because there was, like I said, there was the original one, then there was the second one, which most people don't know, or maybe may not know, but the second Piranha film, The Spawning, was actually James Cameron's first film. And he will tell you it's his worst film ever, because it's one of the worst movies of all time. It's terrible. But he definitely showed he could do things underwater.
So it's really that James Cameron's worst film? That's the one?
No, Titanic's definitely still his worst film. So now that I think about it, now I'm like,
man,
he was setting that up right there.
Mark, you heard him. He just said.
I had to stop and think. I retract that statement.
Wait, is that the movie that's setting on the shelf there?
That's for nailing me on the Aldo. That's for nailing me on the Aldo.
Dang it. All right, I'll take that one. Piranha 2 is still better than Titanic, though. But he definitely, you go back and watch Piranha 2, and you're like, well, he's got a knack for shooting underwater scenes. He really does. And I don't know what it is about him wanting to show. Anyways, that's another movie. So, but then they did it. Then they did a 90s made-for-TV remake. No, it wasn't made for TV, but it was a 90s remake. That was even worse. Then they did the newer ones in the later 2000s. The first Piranha, and then Piranha 3D, then Piranha 3 Double D or whatever.
Yeah.
real exploitative type
Yes,
films is
yes,
what they
gotcha
were for
there.
sure.
Double D. Gee, I wonder what that one's about.
I have no idea, you know, what we might see going into this film with a title like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're not doing any of those, but we're going to go back and do the original Piranha next month, which is going to be a ton of fun. And be looking out. I know we haven't seen Stompy or Frank for a while. There's been some, let's just say Stompy has gone missing. We haven't seen Stompy for, 4 months, 5 months? It's been a minute.
Like that.
Frank's been around, and we've heard from Stompy once or twice, but he's pretty much been gone. So we'll keep you up to date.
Frank came through for me. Frank came through for me. So.
He did. He came through for you. He's a little... I think his aggravation towards me is just, I'm not happy with how he came through, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? Whatever. I figured he'd go for Gamera.
Well,
no,
rumor has it you're partly to blame for Stompy going missing. You know, this is a girl gone bad type situation.
Yeah.
No,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think it's more Frank's fault. But whatever, we'll find out. So, anyways,
Frank's fault. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It could be Frank's fault too, but.
I kind of like Stompy,
opinion
and you ran him off, man. That ain't cool.
I didn't run him off. He'll be back, I hope.
Cool.
But so, anyways, they'll be back some point once we hear from Stompy. So, but next month, definitely stay tuned. We got some cool stuff coming up for you and a few things down the works. But check it out for Gamer vs. Gauss and Piranha, again, the original Roger Corman film, because Roger Corman freaking rocks. And there you go. Yep. Go check out Kolchak the Night Stalker. Also, please go check out all the other podcast shows on our network. Our good buddies, Charlie and Nate and Pete at the Give Me Back My Action Movies, Give Me Back My Horror Movie shows. Of course, Pete also with Give Me Good Beer Bad Movie Night. Jimmy over at Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. Check all those shows out. Listen to their shows. They're amazing shows, amazing dudes. We absolutely love them. And, of course, we love Charlie because Charlie is our trivia master, which he's been having to work on some things, and we've been having some conflicts with scheduling, so we didn't have any trivia this episode or last episode for that, but we'll be back.
I think what that really is I think he's upset because didn't we ace the last 2 trivia?
We have.
I think that's the problem.
We have aced the last 2 trivia.
Yeah.
So
I think that's where the problem is.
Are you saying he's slipping?
Nope. Charlie's great. Fantastic. He is great. Charlie is.
I think Mark knows there's one more RoboCop movie in the mix, and he's trying not to get that one at this point. He's like, please, not the third film.
I'm just letting you know that by coincidence, we've aced the last 2. Now we haven't seen him for a few.
So, but trivia will be back very soon. We know you guys love that. So, but again, check out the other shows. Go follow us and join the groups on Facebook and Instagram because we do bring you guys a lot of extra stuff on there, and we love talking to you all. And again, thank you all so much. This is Sludge.
This is the Lorax.
And you got the Grandmaster in Texas, which on his birthday, I get to find out what my grandbaby's going to be, a boy or a girl.
Awesome.
Oh,
awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.
So when he finds out, we'll have to
it's going to be a special day because his birthday. Yeah. We find out on the 27th. They're making us wait. So,
well,
that's a good day to wait too. So,
yep,
there you go.
Yeah,
so if he comes out looking like Mark, I got no clue what's going on. So
me neither. I'm in Tennessee. You're in Texas.
So, all right. Thank y'all again. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Nice. Good night, y'all.